I'll say it because it'd be fun to go back and listen to this. I really think it would take a lot, like physical harm or like dehydration or something, for me not to finish. Hey, howdy, hi. This is the Light on the Trail podcast. I'm your host, Frank Colburn, and on this episode, we'll be talking about being confidently unprepared. That's right, and I will be firsthand talking about this. I have my very first, we'll start with this, my A race of the year coming up. We'll dig a little more, like, why is it my A race? Because I made it my A race. I kind of set that foundation and that thought, that goal line at this big race. It's a 50 miler, the Chupacabra 50, happening in Quanah, Texas, in just a few days. It's going to be happening Saturday. This should come out Sunday after the race, but and I'm not prepared. Why am I not prepared? Is it what makes someone unprepared for something, right? And that's kind of what I want to get into. Your standards and what you set yourself up to. Your training, the training I've done, getting into whatever the goal is, what makes it your A race, and what are you holding yourself up to a certain standard because that's what you want to do or what someone else wants to do. So my A race is coming up for this year. My most exciting race to me, or my biggest race that I wanted to do this year, is coming up in a few days, and I don't feel prepared. I feel okay. I would say I feel like I can complete it. That was my goal, though. So in one sense, I'm prepared for that. I know that I haven't put in as much time and miles as I did this time last year when I was running my first marathon. And I think that's what's getting to me a little bit. But I'm definitely, I've done a lot more since then, and have done longer distances than a marathon. But I just have that, like, knowing, like, you were going to do more. You were going to add more miles. You should have been doing more, and you weren't able to. So now what's wrong? Now you're not going to, now what? And without being too long-winded about it, that's kind of what I'm getting at. We set ourselves up, or have whatever foundation you kind of build up, or expectations that you build up with a goal that you're calling your A race, or what have it, right? I think that can lead to being very, very good when you're not prepared, or very bad if you set that bar too high without having the foundation underneath of, like, hey, look, and here's the big takeaway: control what you can control. In the last couple months have been into a new job and having the pressures of that, and still working out kind of got my schedule together now with that. It's a very important job to me, so that's been stressful. Spring times kind of began, and a lot of home things where we're building a front porch and trying to stay in that. And then there's been all these other things that, like, hey, we need to fix this floor and do that. And like, oh yeah. And I just have that, I've been slacking. This is more important. I have to prioritize that, and family and faith and everything has to come first. And I've tried to fix our lawnmower, and that's kind of led to fixing lawnmowers for somebody else. And now I've had one that I found for free, and I'm trying to fix that and raffle it off now for $15 to people to raise money for the children's church camp and other things. I had to kind of stop, like, well, this is making me happy right now. I'll run a little bit when I can, but I need to be home. I need to get these other things done. With the new job, I'm not as close to some favorable running places that I once was. Still been able to do a little bit here and there, but not as much as I would if I hadn't even done as much as I was doing this time last year for my marathon, right? So it's nearly twice as long as a marathon, and I've put in less miles and time. But I do feel like I can still complete it, and that was the goal. I wasn't like, I'm going to do my first 50, and I want to be in the top 5. I just want to do good. I think that's been established with a lot of my races, or my big A races. That was with my marathon the first time I did that. First time I did a 50K, finish strong. get comfortable being uncomfortable, control what you can control and all that. So you've heard me say before on this podcast, I think, and other people, that's kind of what I've echoed. Typically you hear around 2 weeks. You can't really gain anything necessarily within 2 weeks time before an event, to reap what you've sowed into your training. So what can I do? This is the week up to it. Let's not be dumb, let's not do anything too crazy. Yesterday I did get a little, it wasn't a 5K. It was about 4 miles in on a trail that is somewhat close to where a newer one I haven't got to run that much. Anyway, did that, but it was pretty muddy. We've been having a lot of rain lately, and I wanted to just kind of cruise and not go too fast anyway. And the mud was really being muddy, right? And making me kind of slip and kind of stretch out my hips a little in a weird way. So, hey, let's be extra careful, because this is going to be it. You're not familiar with this trail. You're just trying to do some easy miles, and now you're going to slip and fall or twist your ankle, and we're really going to be in a tight spot. As last episode talked about, the Coyote got canceled, and that was right 2 weeks right before this 50 coming up, and I was really leaning into that. So what do you do when your plans change? I was ready to do that 16 miles, 2 laps around Cleburne State Park, and kind of have a really nice tunes, before 2 weeks. I was really looking forward to that. I was ready to kind of do a hard push on that. It's kind of a hard course, a lot of up and down, really rocky and things. But I was kind of using that to check my checklist, check all systems go and take off. And that got canceled. And then again with work and everything else, so, what do? I have to be confident that I am not prepared. Don't be dumb. Be honest with yourself. Hey, things aren't as much as you would like, but how are you? How are you controlled? This week I'm not eating any fast food. I'm trying to lay off energy drinks, which I've been doing better at. Maybe 2 a week, and I put that in the category of like a Red Bull or a C4, or whatever other ones, or even like a Monster coffee or something like that. So none of that this week. I definitely can control, and that will have an effect on my health and my ability or whatnot. Having a pretty clean as far as what I take in to prepare my body, right? Get my engine ready for this big race to come. So I'm trying to make sure I'm being on top of what I'm eating and taking in, getting rest. I don't know if I'll do a little 5K or not before. It would have to be tomorrow's Thursday, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow's going to be a late day at work, maybe early in the morning. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to have some stretching and real light kind of workout exercise here at the house. I'll probably do that with the kids. That's what I can control. Staying limber, I want to be a little fresh as far as have the muscles worked up a little bit. It makes me feel fit when I've not necessarily sore, but like a little, I don't know, like I know I've been using my muscles and they're ready to go. So that's what I can control. Control what you can control. Know they may not be in a place, what's the goal with this? Whatever that goal is kind of pertains to if you're prepared or not. But something I want to get into is those foundations and what we set as that they kind of build and lead to our headspace, I think, to a lot of places before. I try to have always that, do what you can and just be smart about it. Listen to your body. If I get there and I'm feeling okay, and I'll know pretty quickly if I'm not going to be able to do the time or whatever I want to do. And I don't really have a time set for that. I just want to complete it. But some people, I would think more if you're more of an elite level or competing at a higher level or taking it, real serious or not, you would feel like every race has to be your A game. You have to really be on it. That kind of goes with any other sport. So I think that kind of can build an aggressive foundation where your headspace or subconsciously you're going to be like, no, like I know I didn't put enough miles in. I'm not going to be able to do what I need to do. And then it can snowball from there, right, and get worse. So just think of you have to kind of step out of what you think your foundation is and what it's built from, and then build from that too, at like a subconscious level, to trick yourself and knowing like, hey, it's cool. You got this. Do what you can do. If you're not ready, hey, you're not ready. We're not going to get this. That's what we tried to do. But here's what we can do now. Kind of thing. I feel like I'm talking in circles, but in knowing why you're doing it. Why is it your A race? Because it was cool. Because my buddy wanted to do it. Because I've never done that distance before and I want to do it. I've never ran in this state before, so that's why it's my A race. Whatever. I think that can help identifying those reasons, but again, not putting too much pressure on it. If you like, oh, this is just my A race because I wanted to run a race in Colorado and I don't really care now and all that, is it worth going out there now? Did you put enough time in to go out there and will you still enjoy the moment, right? I paid for it already. Go and do it. Well, okay. Are you gonna miss something more important at your house or your family time? Again, talking in circles. I apologize, but really think about it. What makes you happy? If you're ready for it, what's your goal? What's the reason for the race? Why is that your A race? What about this? Are you doing it for yourself or other people? These are all, and with any aspect of life and any parts of our foundation in sports or family or faith or whatnot, ask questions. Why is it this way? And be honest with yourself. There's an older episode, one of the early ones that I really liked a lot. It's not very popular, but the adjusting fire and building your foundation and everything just kind of talks about this and echoes that. Setting your sights where you want to be and be able to adjust fire when things get sticky, control what you can control. Read a couple of things here out of Proverbs that I just found interesting and nice. A pastor had read one off to me. Well, I can't remember what we were exactly talking about, but so these are in chapter 14. It's just a handful. These are just kind of close to each other, but it kind of, I think, goes along with what we're talking about. So 14 and 23 says, "There is profit in all hard work, but endless talk leads only to poverty." Right? Hey, talk the talk or walk the walk. Just because you look like it, or maybe talk yourself up, like you see those UFC fighters that are like, "No, I'm the best in the whole octagon in the world." They get laid out. Be honest with yourself, and there's profit in hard work, and you'll know that, and you'll know, or if you've just been talking yourself or tricking yourself to work yourself up, you'll think that it's a whole different game. 28 says, this is chapter 14, verse 28. "A large population is a king's splendor, but a shortage of people is a ruler's devastation." Then 29, "A patient person shows great understanding, but a quick-tempered one promotes foolishness." Love it. That reminds me of James, my favorite, James 1:19, about being slow to anger and slow to speak, but quick to listen. But this is, again, 29 says, "A patient person shows great understanding, but a quick-tempered one promotes foolishness." I think this can, again, go with being honest with yourself, especially with running. All about being patient and pacing yourself. Don't get mad that you weren't able to put those miles in, or you had to, whatever it was that you think you're thrown off your game now. Don't give yourself a reason or excuse. You can still do it if you get out there, and then you can only control what you can control. So don't get angry and foolish. Be patient. Don't worry about how many people that are not there, or how many people don't think you can do it right. That's a ruler's devastation, but a king has splendor in the population, and that can be, it's in a way kind of hard to interpret, I think. But there was one more. Let me see. I didn't highlight it because I thought I was just gonna be able to find it. It's the next one, I think. Yeah, "A tranquil heart is," this is 30. So that was 28, 29, 30. "A tranquil heart is life to the body, but jealousy is rottenness to the bones." Again, I think that goes along with being confident in yourself. Just be tranquil and roll with the punches. Adjust fire when needed. Understand your foundation, and that you can change this. And when you're in it, right? That's my goal. Is like, I know I put in a lot more work than I ever have before, though. Just because this last couple months, I feel like I've been slacking. That doesn't mean I can't do this race. If you've got your big goal or A race coming up or whatever it may be, and it's just a part of life. Life gets in the way. Sometimes you have to do adults, especially if you're a parent, man, but roll with the punches, send out some prayers, be happy, love thy neighbor, and just keep on keeping on, right? You just do it. Know it's for you. Man, I did roll my ankle. I'm not going to be able to run faster, but I think I can still complete it. All right, whatever. Goal C now. Just go through the alphabet and just go with it and keep doing what you can do. If I get out there and then I think I'm doing okay, and I do hurt myself or fall down, or something's going on with my stomach, that could be a weak point. That's something I lean on, I would say, and be a little, could be ignorant about, is that pretty much my stomach has not ever had a problem. I've tried running, see how long I can run without with not eating something. I've gone and ran like 10 plus miles on a stomach that I thought like I was hungry, and then would throw something in and try to eat something new, and it's been okay. Now that I'm saying that, that could be it. Maybe that will be the downfall. I'm trying to have a mindset of, DFL before DNF. I really think, I'll say it because it'd be fun to go back and listen to this. I really think it would take a lot, like physical harm or like dehydration or something, for me not to finish, or being timed out. Even if I can only walk, something happens halfway through and then I have to walk a marathon. I think I'd still be able to finish in the time frame. I say that, right? Thinking, I don't know. But I don't know. I really I've got to finish it. Because that's just that's, I guess, my bottom line. Like if I don't finish it, yeah, that's true. That's it. If I'm not able to finish it, by anything other than a serious incident, I would feel less. I would not feel, right now I'm like, well, you wanted to do good, but what's good? Because you've never done it. So as long as you complete it, that's still good. I probably won't be saying that on my next 50, but I've never had to drop out of a race, and I really, really don't want to do that. So I think that would open up a new chapter in myself and what I think is tough, or look at myself about, and maybe kick myself in the butt. Like, that's what you get for not being trained. But that's something that I can't fret about, because we're not there until I'm there. If it happens at mile 15 or mile 45 or 49, who knows? But the next episode will be a recap of that, and it will be a good one. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This is the Light on the Trail podcast. Don't worry about others. Worry about your own self and what you can do. Control what you can control. Have a tranquil heart. Don't be angry or foolish. Just roll with the punches and adjust fire. And may the dirt be forever under your feet.